Hey, Eastern Oregon, glad you're here with us today. This is a brand new show called Brent's Table. Brent's Table, I know, real original. But the point of the show is for me to be able to bring guests on that I'm interested in talking to. They might not always be from Eastern Oregon. Today, we do have a guest from Eastern Oregon. You'll see here in just a minute. But it's a little bit more of a conversation. And warning, you're probably going to get my opinion as we talk, and that's kind of the whole point, is that it gives us an opportunity to talk about topics that are not always easy to talk about, but a little bit more of a conversation. And if you've been pulled into any podcast anywhere, you know that part of that appeal is that people are courageous enough to talk about what they believe in. So anyhow, welcome to Brent's Table, and I hope that again you enjoy it. And today, it's a pleasure for me to have a longtime friend of mine, Steve Clements.
Thank you, Brent.
Hey, how are you, man?
I'm well.
Good.
It's been a weird winter, but I'm kind of ready to get into a different climate zone.
Yeah.
Or season. So yeah, I'm good.
Well, good. And thank you for being. I mean, I've had this idea for a while to have this show that, I don't know, maybe went a little bit more in depth on stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And you and I have had a number of stimulating conversations over a period of time.
Yes, we have.
And we have a lot in common, but we're also different enough that it makes conversations interesting,
Yeah.
And so and I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you. And I appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
I've had an opportunity to be on your morning show a couple of 3 times.
Yeah.
At least once, I think, as when I was serving as mayor, and then times when I wasn't.
Yeah.
So it's that's a different mindset. And I'm glad I can be here as a citizen and a past servant of the community.
Yeah. Well, and this is a little less, on the morning show. There's a live audience. This is not live, although it's what we call live to tape. And so, unless there's some disaster, we're probably not going to edit it.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, so it's just, so we're not as constrained.
Okay.
Too. So it's just a little bit more of a conversation.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody will listen or not. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just doing this because it's like my wife and I own the station. At sometimes I can just kind of do what I want. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's kind of mix it up so maybe it'll draw some attention and people will come back.
That's right. Yeah. Well, so how long have you not been being mayor? Let's start there. And what have you been doing since?
Let's see. I stepped down. I did not run in 2002. So it'll be 4 years.
So 2022.
Yeah, 2022. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be a long time. So this is my 3rd election not on the ballot.
Yeah.
So I wasn't on in 22, I wasn't on in 24, and I won't be on, obviously, in 26.
Yeah. Do you miss it?
I used to. Seriously, I think that first year was I missed being in the flow and in the know.
Yeah.
On the council, there was a lot of information that that was given to us, that was available to people, but that it was fed to us, and it was our responsibility to be on top of it.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that access. And in that first 12 to 18 months, every once in a while, I would be like, well, I really would like to know.
Yeah.
But as time has gone on, I've come to appreciate the free time and to be more selective with the information that I choose. Be more like a citizen, right?
Yeah.
So I don't miss it. I'll since we're in a free flow here, I had thought about running again. I had thought about running for either mayor or a council position, and the more I thought about it, the more I realized I have done and did my service. And I'm still on 2 city commissions, so I'm still doing service to the community. But I also realize it's time for someone else.
Yeah.
And other people to play that role. And in 20 years, if they remember who I was, great. If they
Yeah.
don't, well,
Yeah.
there's no sweat off my back, right? So,
Well, so you said access, and that's interesting.
yeah.
Okay, so because how do you, the access that you had,
yes.
shouldn't you be able to have that access as a public citizen?
Well, you should, and
Right.
and I think you do.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've subscribed to,
Yeah.
and we were talking about this a little bit ago, is that you can get on a mailing list for every council agenda, and you get a little email, and it says the agenda for the council's meeting coming up on. Which today, I think it's Wednesday.
Yeah, right.
Right, April 1st.
Right.
Which is not a Fool's Day.
Yeah.
Is available. So you click the link in the email, it takes you to a web page, you click that link, and you get not just the council's agenda, but you get the whole council packet.
Well, and you're telling me I'm deep into what's going on in the city, and I didn't know that. I'm thrilled with that.
Yes.
Because I can't tell you the number. As you know, I've been recording city council meetings for over 15 years now.
Right, wow.
And so, and there, Mike Boquist, the planning division, is it planning division? Is that what they call it? Yeah. He's at the podium a lot, talking about ordinances that need to be changed and stuff. But what he's presenting to the public
is a snapshot.
Yeah, you're looking at a ton. The audience, the public, they're looking through a tube.
Yes. Well, and to talk about this agenda, so council will be voting on some changes in the land development code Wednesday.
Yeah.
And Mike, I love Mike, and he is thorough. The agenda for this week, which I went through and looked at, is well over 100 pages long because all of the corrections and changes in the land development code are in that file.
Right, and this is the second reading for that. Yes. Okay.
Yes, and so you can go in and see exactly what they're talking about.
Right.
And if you want to take the time and muscle your way through it, that's a lot of reading and a lot of understanding. But even just going in and getting a glimpse of what it is, it reveals to you what the council and the planning commission have to deal with when you come up on something like this. It's not just, oh yeah, we're going to vote on this thing, or we're not going to get a 5-minute synopsis from the planning director.
Right.
There's hours and hours and hours of research and reading and development and discussion and changes.
Right.
Right. So having access to that now has actually helped me feel like I'm less out of touch.
Right. But I want to say though, and I'm thrilled with that. And in John O'Brien, the new city manager, been here. Would we say almost 9 months?
About 9 months. Yeah.
Yeah. He's had a real effort to make all of that stuff available.
Yes.
But that I don't, and that's not, I'm not throwing anything negative against Robert. That just wasn't. That wasn't his emphasis as much. And not that information wasn't available. He was just more concerned about the day-to-day business.
And I do think that some of this, like the council agenda availability, is not all that new. It may be less than a year old.
Yeah,
and so, because I know that I haven't been getting them for a year.
You have been?
I have not been getting them. So it's just something recently that I logged into or subscribed to, and it's like, okay, that's one thing that people can get to. That doesn't mean everybody will.
Well, and I guess but again, probably when you were mayor, Stu came and they changed the prices of the pool.
Yes.
Whatever it was. Or, the prices of the structure that they do, when they park at Morgan Lake or whatever it was. Yeah.
Right.
Well, they talked about all of that, and never once did he say, well, yeah, and the pool's going to go from 6 to 8. But there wasn't any, and it's not that was trying to be hid, but it's like, the most basic thing is if you're going to raise prices, there should be an easily gettable list of what prices are going to change.
Yeah.
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 And
yeah.
so,
And
I mean, that's great.
Right. I think that's that agenda available, being on that subscription list for the agenda is good. But we were talking about this too before we started recording, and it's like there's a price to transparency. It's technology makes it a little less spendy. You know, now, I mean, they still have to put that packet together and they have to make it into the right file, but that's a whole lot easier now than it used to be.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, as time goes on, I think transparency becomes easier and easier to provide. And that the information is available to people if they want it. And you're right. I mean, if there's going to be a change in, I think one of the things that they're talking about soon are changes in franchise agreements, which we have for, you know, cable and telephone and anything that uses the right of way.
Yeah, and people might not know that. I mean, the city owns the street. I mean, they own the
right of way.
The right of way. Right. Yeah, and if the poles are on the right of way, they're on city business. Right.
And the city can charge a rent.
Right.
For use of that right of way, and normally, and probably, actually, that rent gets passed down to utility consumers. So you get an electric bill, and if you look at it closely, there's a franchise fee in there, and so the OTEC puts the franchise fee not on them but on the customer.
They pass it on.
Right, they pass it on, and so if those franchise agreements change, and if there's an amount of money that changes in there, then that, you know, people need to know. As I remember, though, I'm recalling, there is a cap that I think the state puts a cap on how much franchise fees can be. So, and if I remember correctly, and like, this is maybe one of those little things, and I don't remember, that's changed since I was on council. Almost all the utilities are at the cap. So, you know, even if we change the franchise agreements, it may just be policy use of what can go where and, you know, limits like that. I doubt they can do anything about the franchise fee rate because those are all at cap. Right. So.
Well, and let's continue to talk about transparency a little bit, because you know, I mean, one of my pet peeves still is that, you know, when somebody takes a Word document and they put it on a screen, and I mean, and there are 100 words or more on that document.
Oh, don't you hate it?
And they're expecting that. I mean, they're just putting it on the screen to check the box. It's not readable. And again, for me, that's a transparency issue. If you're putting it up, but you're not making it so that it's readable, then, you know,
I think that's a waste of time. I agree. I completely, absolutely agree.
You're just checking a box.
Right. I mean, I remember going to conferences for academic stuff, and somebody would put up a slide, and it's just full of numbers and stuff, and they, oh, excuse me for the detail. And I'm saying, well, why'd you put it up there for?
Well, right, but technology has changed now to where, I mean, you could have a QR code in the corner of that document, and somebody points their phone at it, and now they have the PDF, and they can read right there.
Right. You know, let's talk about AI in a good way.
Yeah.
You could take the bulk document, submit it to AI, and say, give me a summary of 50 words. Right? In bullet format.
Right.
And poosh.
Have you done that?
I
mean, I tell you, like, I've done a couple of proposals now, you know.
Through AI?
Yes.
Yes, I know.
I will take my phone and dictate what I'm thinking literally into my phone into a Google document, go to my desk, copy and paste that Google document into a
Chat GPT.
And it'll spit out a proposal that's almost right on.
Well,
I mean, it is just bonkers.
you know, there's a lot of discussion. We could go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go there because AI is good and bad.
Right, yeah.
Right. I mean, there's some stuff about it that just it scares the bejesus out of me.
Yeah.
But there are little tools and helpful aids to people that AI can do pretty darn well.
Yeah.
If you use it the right way.
Right.
I'm an Excel geek, and I love working on spreadsheets. One of the things I've taken it into is to make macros that'll do repetitive things for.
Right.
Hello.
Yeah. Make this macro.
Yeah, go to an AI service and say, hey, make a macro that'll do this.
Right.
And it comes back and there's the code.
I know. See, and I'm not that genius, but what I will do, I mean, not too long ago, I wanted an Excel document that had every Tuesday and Thursday, because we have the AM show on Tuesday and Thursday morning. Give me an Excel document that has every Tuesday and Thursday morning and the date in 2026 on one sheet. And in 8 seconds, it gave me that. Download this document.
Right,
and it's
right.
like, I mean, you know how long that would take.
Right. So in light of transparency,
Yeah.
don't throw up a bunch of text
Right.
on a screen. Use a QR code.
Yeah.
Use AI.
Yeah.
Submit the document. Tell it, summarize it,
Yeah.
bullet format, and give me a QR code to the document at this location.
Yeah.
And it would come back with something that you could use. And then it's useful for people. You pull out the phone, you're watching it on your computer or TV, you click the QR code, and now you've got the full-on document.
Right.
And it's that easy.
Well, and so what I realized when I ran for county commissioner 2 years ago
Right.
is that, I mean, Union County has the same issues.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm talking about their commissioner meetings and so on and so forth.
Right.
I mean, I've been to their meetings and they will talk about, well, I mean, maybe they'll have an ordinance too, and it wasn't perfect. I mean, so then not too long ago, it's probably been 2 or 3 years ago, Nick Vora was there and they changed the fire burden ordinance. I mean, and the way it used to be that you'd call a number and you'd have to say, get a burn permit and the whole 9 yards and so on. Well, they kind of changed, and we're talking about people outside the city of LeGrand
Right.
can burn yard waste
Yes.
in their spaces. Well, to burn that yard waste, it's got to be approved. It's got to be a good day.
Yep.
And so Union County, I mean, they took a look at the quality of air and the barometric pressure and, I mean, all of those factors.
Yes.
Anyhow, so, and I mean, Nick Vora was on the show this last week. I mean, he's just a wonderful person.
Yeah.
And what he was what he was presenting was total. I mean, it was a one sheet thing. It was good, but I'm sitting there and I'm like, I mean, I have the agenda. I pull the agenda up of the commissioner meeting, and it's like, how hard would it have been to have had a link that I could have clicked on, and then I could see the entire verbiage right there.
Yeah.
And so, and
Well, maybe there's a lesson for the county in what the city is doing.
Well, there is. And I mean, and so then one of the things that when, after I unsuccessfully ran, then I brought a list of recommendations to the county.
Right.
And again, but the thing is each of those things take work.
They do.
Mean, you have to have a staff member.
Yes.
And you know how that is. I mean, all of those staff, it's the same thing at the city.
Right.
They're all full up. I
Right.
mean, they already have a full job doing. So then everything, even though you're trying to be more transparent, it's a lot of work.
Right. But I think that, and I'll go back to something I said moments ago. Technology is changing so that transparency is easier. Whether you're using an AI to generate a fact sheet or a QR code that can be, in the corner of the screen. It does take effort at the front end. It does take effort at the front end. But once it's in place, and once an individual is using it or doing it on a regular basis, it gets, I think, quicker. And it gets less time consuming. I bet if you went over and talked to Stacy, she would give you a good story about how at first it was just getting that agenda up was just really, really difficult. Now, I take the packet, I walk into the scanner, I throw it in there, it sends me back a PDF file, and I post it.
Yeah. Right.
Right?
But that procedure takes time and effort. And I guess the point that both of us are trying to make is that there's a cost to transparency.
Yes.
And sometimes that is that literal is an admin cost.
Yes.
So sometimes administrators, it doesn't matter in what department they are in, they're trying to navigate. It's like, well, next year I want to do this, but I might need to add more admin help in order to make that happen.
So, it just dawned on me, and you said we could be a little free-flowing, and I could ask you some questions, and I'm going to throw this on the table. Do you think that people have different definitions of what transparency is, or what they want to be transparent versus what they don't care about being transparent? You know what I mean? It would be really interesting to, for instance, and they should be able to do this, to track how many people, one, are on the agenda emailing list, and two, actually access the file, right? Maybe that's not the transparency they necessarily want. Maybe there are other things. They, conspiratorially think that there are things going on in City Hall or in the commissioner's office that we want to know about. How do you make that available? Or is that even worthwhile making available? Or is it just conspiratorial and it's the stuff of government that happens whether we want it to or not?
Yeah.
I cannot think of anything that ever happened while I was the mayor that would have warranted, transparency. It wasn't, there was nothing nefarious going on in the conversations that I would have with Robert Strope or with, Kyle Carpenter or Mike Boquist or, Timothy Bishop. I see him in the hallway and I'd say, what about this?
Right. Well, so to answer that, I guess there's a number of things I'm thinking. One is, as you know, you could make all of the information, and I saw this happen, when you were mayor. You and Robert make an effort to, anybody who was a naysayer or had doubt, come and meet with us. We will take our time and explain everything that we can to you. As long as you want to invest in it, we will do everything. And I knew that about both of you. I knew that you were willing to do that. So I totally agree. I never saw anything that was like, that was shady.
Right.
But I think that, and there is a point where, and as you know, the city budget is extremely complicated.
Yeah.
It is not simple. Right. And at the very base of that is that cities and counties, they have a whole ton of little revenue streams that are coming in, and some of those streams have to be spent for something very specific, and tracking that income against the expenses. And then you have some, you have enterprise funds that make money, and so like city sewer, that's in, so people,
which can only be used for sewer infrastructure and maintenance, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's different than other funds where they don't take money in.
Right.
Okay. And so anyhow, the bottom line is you have all of these income streams. They're it is really hard to track.
Yes.
And on the same hand, if you're skeptical, it'd be like, oh well, it'd be really easy for you to hide something also.
There's creative accounting.
Right. Which is not wrong.
Right.
Those
well, it is, but it is.
But what I mean is, in things being so complicated, it breathes the ability for somebody for mistrust.
Yes.
Whether there is openness or not.
That part is not wrong.
Yeah,
It's understandable. I think okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Anyhow, so I guess I think that it is government's responsibility to do absolutely everything they can
To lay it out there.
to lay it out. Yeah. Now all you have to do is see how many people attend a city council meeting to understand that there's a lot of people that just don't care.
Right.
I mean, citizens are complicated.
Yes.
And we're all citizens.
Yes.
You know, I mean, we don't care until, wait a minute, my water bill's going up, or or whatever the case might be. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not in my backyard.
Yep.
I mean, those, and then it becomes a concern to us.
Yep.
So we're all. Wait a minute, I'm paying your salary, and I mean,
Well, we're busy too.
Right.
And I think when I served on the council, I recognized very, very well and very openly that the time when people would come to council is when there was a direct impact on their livelihood or their living situation, and whether that was a land use requirement on their property, directly on their property, or there was something to do with fees, and I get that.
Yeah.
I really get that, and in fact that's why we have public meetings, so that people can come in and voice that. For the most part, people are busy.
Right.
And I think one of the fundamentally useful things of being on that automated agenda list is that you can go in and look at the first page of that file, and it is the agenda. And you can look down and in 5 minutes find out if there's anything of interest to you, and if not, and if so, you can look at the full-blown what the council is getting, and then you can decide, do I need to be there in person to speak publicly?
Right.
And I think if people are watching this, I strongly advocate you go to the city council webpage, and I think there's a button on that webpage that you can apply for this subscription.
Yeah.
Do it. 5 minutes of your time, you can be in touch of what's going on.
Right. And I think if a citizen has that access, I mean, the minute that they type on it, they click on a PDF and it opens 200 pages, then at that point they're going to go like, okay, clearly no information is hidden from me here.
Right.
I mean, generally they're going to make the conclusion that, okay, this is too complicated for me to be. I mean, and at the end of the day, that's why we hire, that's why we elect city council members.
That's why we elect city council.
To act on our behalf. They have the same interests we do, and they're trying to represent us and make those decisions.
Subsequent, and let's go down in the organizational chart. It is why we hire a professional city manager who then hires professional department directors whose expertise and knowledge, I cannot emphasize enough how much respect and belief I had in our professional department directors and in our city manager. You may not always agree with them.
Right.
And that's the role of the council, to take whatever information they give you plus whatever you need to augment that and make a decision to go forward. All the better to elect good people.
Right. So let me go back to the transfer, because there's something I wanted to mention there. Okay. Figure out how long we've been. Anyhow.
I know we could chew up a lot of time.
I think the one, and I have seen this, I've experienced this a couple of times, maybe once, is that, if a city makes an effort to do all of that, they make all of that information available. They are willing to sit down with somebody and explain something to them, whatever it takes, and I'll come back to an incident that I saw happen with you that, I'll go there right now. So, but even with that platform, there has to be some basic trust involved. Okay. And I remember you having a conversation with somebody who consistently was doubt. They doubted, all of you. They doubt, and I think that you said, we will do our best effort to explain this. We will take all of the time that you need, but you have to have some foundation of trust that we're elected city council people, and we're going to do our best on your behalf as a citizen the way we would and for us, you know. And his response was, I don't trust you.
I remember this.
Yeah. And your response was, we will spend as much time as we need, but without some foundational trust, I don't know where there is to go.
Yeah.
I mean, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and if you can't trust us, if you can't trust your elected officials, and I think it's easier to trust local elected officials.
I would think so.
I mean, as you go up in, you know, in elections or region, it's harder because you don't know the individual. You don't have a chance to sit down and really get to know them, and so it's harder to put a lot of faith in them. But I think I'm just going to say this. I think trust with a certain amount of doubt is a fundamental element of a democracy.
Right, absolutely.
And it's okay to doubt,
right,
but you got to trust them to a certain degree. Elected officials at all levels, you've got to trust them to a certain degree. Otherwise, your life, it's hell.
Right.
Because you'll never get. You'll be worried about every little thing that happens.
Right, and we'll talk here in a minute about that. I mean, there's a lot of that distrust that is. I mean, it is raging right now.
It's terrible.
Yeah, and if there is no foundation of trust, then there's nothing to build on. And
I think that let's take it up to a different level of view. You're absolutely right. I think there's a lot of distrust in the United States at this point in time, at all levels of government. Maybe more so at the national level than there is at lower levels, but they're still there. And that inherently is why people talk about the end of democracy.
Yeah.
Because without some type of fun, I have to have some level of trust. Otherwise, when I go to when I drop my ballot off,
right.
How do I know it's even been validated?
Right.
I mean, I'm really quite tickled by the idea that we have mail-in ballots in Oregon, and we've honed the system to be really, really effective.
Right.
Right. I don't think I'd want to vote on an electronic voting machine because that machine is connected in some way, shape, or form to the internet.
And I don't disagree with you. But had I not met with Robin Church, is it Robin Church?
Yes.
Okay. The past clerk.
Yeah.
Okay. Had we not, we did episodes where we went up there. They were doing, a practice. Yeah, it was a practice count beforehand to check the accuracy of the machine and comparing. And I know Robin. Now, I don't know Lisa as well.
Right.
Robin is retired, and Lisa, but still, I know that system. So when we, I'm not opposed to, this current thing of having some kind of an ID when you cast a vote. It's not a bad idea. And you can work out the kinks of whatever it might be, but it seems like a fairly reasonable thing. But I don't think that because I distrust our local ballots.
Right.
Because I've seen that process.
Yeah.
If you submit your ballot and you don't sign your signature the same way that you did when you originally registered 16 years ago, they'll call you.
Yeah. Is this you?
Yes.
I've known people that they just do a scroll.
Right.
And send their ballots in.
Right.
And they got a call.
Right.
And they said, this is not your signature.
Right.
Well, it is. Well,
right.
Then maybe you ought to come in and redo it so we know that it's valid.
Right. Yeah. And so, but I think that, so starting from the top down, you're right. So there's so much distrust going on at the national level, then it's easy for it's easy for that to get down to this level.
Yes.
I mean, it's like we distrust Trump, we distrust what's going on, and so, anybody, everybody is bad.
I got to distrust Matt Scarfa because he's just as,
Right.
Excuse me, Matt, I did not mean that in derogatory. I'm just being sarcastic.
Yeah, right. But I mean, you're perfectly right.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that. I mean, Matt is a little bit of a target right now.
He is.
And I don't think he deserves it. But,
we can have that conversation. I mean, I don't think he does either.
Yeah. The decision to have that overturned, whatever, or to test it, all of the commissioners voted on that. I mean, but
yes.
Yeah, we can talk about the.
Yeah, that was a point that I forgot, and I now correct my mind.
Well, and what's funny? I mean, we'll talk about that here in just a minute. Let's finish this. So, I always wanted to do a video, and of a fourth grade class, and the teacher comes in and she says, "Okay, today we're going to form a city, and all right, who wants to be the fireman? Okay, who wants to be the police officers? Okay, who wants to be the mayor? Okay, who wants to be on the city council? And so, and of course, to re-emphasize the fact that every one of those people are people in the class.
Yeah.
Every one of those people are citizens. They have a common interest in making this little city work.
Yeah.
And they're not, the corruption is just not built in automatically.
Not right away.
Yeah. But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, anyhow, well, let's talk about national politics for a minute.
Sure.
Because it's kind of interesting because you and I, you're a little more left-leaning.
Yeah.
I'm certainly more right-leaning.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of overlap.
we're civil.
Yeah.
With and we have been for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think civility is a forgotten art.
Yeah.
And I think civility goes along with trust.
Yeah.
In terms of what's lacking.
Yeah.
And I think it's easier to be civil with people that
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Right.
But yeah, and also if you have a little empathy,
right?
It's easy to be civil because if something's going bad with you, then man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
But if it's going good, I'm like, cool, I'm going to appreciate it. So that's the civility, that's the empathy.
Right.
Boy, we don't seem to have much of it. And at the national level, this is hard because, and I think I've said this on your show, one of your shows in the morning. I can live with many policies created and passed at the national level, whether it's by a Democrat or a Republican Congress, and I've lived through a number of Republican and Democratic presidents. It's difficult for me to like the personality of Donald Trump as portrayed in the media.
Well, and for me too.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because there's a basic lack of civility on his part.
No.
And trust and all of that. And so what you and I find a commonality and common ground and a place to chill.
Yeah.
I don't know that I could do that with that man.
No, it's kind of so funny. I mean, and this is a good place to start. I think that sometimes conversations, difficult conversations, if you start from where you agree and then move, and so often they don't happen that way.
No, they start
with like, this is where I am, this is where you are, and I mean the big topics. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that the climate is changing.
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that child care is a major problem in the United States.
Homelessness.
I mean, so you got all these
mental health and
you have all of these issues, and so and so then where we get different is we get so polarized, and you go well, we already pay for. I mean, a conservative might say we're already pay for everything. We can't pay for somebody's child care. How are we going to pay for that? Until you have your own kids and you see your own adult children trying to figure that out. How in the world do we make a wage and pay for? I mean,
or make a wage and own a home.
Right. And take care of
and take care of your children until they're aged to the point that they can be. I got you.
Right. So, but anyhow, going back to Trump, the other day the Japanese prime minister was in his office, and he says, it was like, well, she knows something about surprises, doesn't she? You know, and they bombed Pearl Harbor, and so. It was just so classless.
Tactless.
It was,
I don't know, I'm not a psychologist.
Yeah.
And I've not studied enough of psychology or him as an individual.
Yeah.
But it just seems like he's not mentally well. I'm sorry. I'm probably offending people when I say, but to watch his mannerisms, to hear the things that come out of his mouth, to he's using Air Force One to go back and forth every weekend and we pay for that.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I would like someone who at least knows how to articulate an issue a little more effectively without being tactless.
Right. And I don't disagree, but certainly somebody on the right's going to say, well, you do remember our last president?
Well, I do, and it's unfortunate.
Right. You could say the same thing about his last few years of...
it was just a travesty.
It was, yeah, and that's not the... And what is funny is that I didn't know that he was using Air Force One to go back and forth.
I'm pretty sure he does.
I know, but the point is that because... We are being fed different feeds.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, and so
yes.
every time. I mean, so whenever, and for me, if I hear something outrageous, whatever it might be, the Democrats are doing this.
Right.
It's like there's a piece of me that says this is being fed to me by the Republican machine.
Yes.
Now there might be some truth in there.
Yes.
But they have cherry-picked different, and it's the same.
Yes.
It's absolutely the same thing both ways.
And I think we've talked about this before. I think what we see in the general media, or any media, whether it tends to be Fox News or NPR,
right?
Put them on the tube, and we see this much.
Right.
It's
a tube.
We see a little, a pin drop, and I mean, and having been an elected official and having been in the know. I realize that every issue is way more complicated and multidimensional than what you see in the media.
Yeah.
You get two-dimensional print, right?
Yeah.
And so, regardless of what news feed and where you get where your channel of information comes from, you're only seeing a speck.
Yeah.
And you got to kind of stand back and take a breath and say, okay, is it really this bad?
Yeah.
And I think, in the case of Donald Trump, I think there are things that are really bad about him as an individual. Are all his policies wrong? Is the Republican Congress wrong? I mean, Christ, I've been voting since I was 18, and that's 50 years now. And I voted Republican and I voted Democrat. And you know what? I've survived this long. And so, regardless of how bad it appears, whether it's a Democrat or Republican, Congress or president, we're going to be okay.
Well, and I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I believe in the checks and balances.
Yes.
I mean, and I still do.
Yes.
And I have friends and some of my kids, and we talk about it. It's like, well, the Supreme Court is in the bag for Trump. It's like, well, yeah, but why did they strike down some of his stuff sometimes? Which I mean, you certainly could argue that there are more conservative people than there are, but still, they're still making decisions that are against him.
That trifecta of how our government is
right.
legislative, judicial, and executive.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. while it doesn't always appear, again, we're only seeing this
Right.
little pin drop. It doesn't appear that it's working.
Yeah.
But the judicial system is doing what it's supposed to do. It's a check to and a balance
Right.
to what's going on.
Yeah.
It's not making law.
Yeah.
It's interpreting whether or not that bill or that action is legal or not.
Yeah.
And we may not like the decisions that are being made, but by golly, it's a check to the system.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're bowling over into authoritarian situation in this country. I mean, it feels like it sometimes, but I don't think I don't think that's going to happen.
And I don't either. Now,
And that's because of the checks and balances that are put in place by the U.S. Constitution and every constitution
Right.
in the states of the United
right,
States.
and I think they're still working.
Yes, yes,
And-
and they are.
They are
They're
actively. They're actively working.
Yeah, and they're probably more
Yeah.
active now than they used to be,
Right.
but but that's good.
Well, right, but what scares me a little bit is the next president, in all
Oh.
likelihood, is probably going to be Democrat.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
there are so many people that hate Trump, and so I don't know whether, but it's still there. I mean, there's a certain amount of there's going to be a certain amount of swing.
Right. You know what I think is sad?
What's that?
I think what is sad is that the reputation of the Republican Party has been irreparable. I can't even say the
Yeah.
word. You know what I mean?
Damaged.
It has been damaged.
Yeah.
By the actions and personality of an individual.
Yeah.
Look at some of the historical Republican leaders in this state, and what they did. We have our land development code, and in place because I think of a Republican governor.
Mm-hmm.
We have access to all of Oregon's open beach because of a Republican governor. We have, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
And Nixon, but Nixon was leader during a time when we put in Clean Air and Clean Water Acts, National Environmental Protection Acts. He did some socially liberal things as a fiscal conservative, which was the bailiwick of the Republican Party. And I think, wow, that's gone, man.
Right. Yeah.
Now it seems like the Republican Party is a bunch of bullies.
Yeah.
And they're going to lose control of the House, possibly the Senate, and definitely the presidency because of the actions of one person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And boy, that's a shame.
Yeah.
I mean, that really is a shame.
Well, let's see. There's so much there.
Yeah. Let's bring it. Let's come back
Okay.
a little bit to local.
But I do want to talk about one thing, and
Okay.
that is that, and this is you and I.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, you and I have the ability to disagree, to agree to disagree.
Right.
And I mean, it seems like, there are some people on the left, some of my friends, they hate Trump so much that they literally can't have a conversation with me anymore. And I cannot for the life of me.
Well, I hate him too, pretty much, but I'm not holding that. You're not Trump.
Right.
Right.
But-
And I don't know that you're not a Trump Republican.
Right. But on the same hand, there are some things that Trump has done that's like, oh, thank God. You look at women's sports and how they're being challenged.
If you're talking about transgender individuals,
yeah.
And you know what? I just think that's wrong too.
Yeah,
I don't.
But it's just, so anyhow, we don't have to get into it. But the point is just that there's some common sense there. Anyhow,
Yes.
The
yes,
point.
Yes.
The point that I'm trying to make is that we've lost the ability to have two thoughts in our brain at the same time. So in other words, it's okay for me to not like Trump, but at the same time, be thankful for some of the things that are changing. Okay,
Yes.
And when I look at some of my liberal friends, and I mean, and they're angry. They're angry at me because how dare you even vote for Trump? I mean, they're mad, but like, you're an idiot for ever voting for him, and it's just
That's too bad.
Yeah.
I think that's too bad.
Well, and the point what I was going to say was like, well, wait a minute, there were things that I was unhappy that Biden did. There were things that I was, but I didn't act the way that you are acting. I mean, and so, but at the bottom, the very basic is just that, man, can't we just get along? I mean, I don't understand that.
Yeah, and I understand where they're coming from, but I don't necessarily agree with the viciousness of it. Just as I don't understand the viciousness of the right wing sometimes.
Right, absolutely.
On some things. But, both of those extremes, to me, are unpatriotic.
Yeah.
Because I think patriotism is not about waving the flag. It's not about saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Patriotism is about the acceptance within this country of the diversity that we're allowed. And part of that acceptance is civility and trust,
right,
and compromise and being just willing to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And when you get that vehement hate,
yeah,
it doesn't do anybody any good. It's got to twist your stomach up.
No, and the fringe on both ends just really cause a lot of chaos.
Because but those are the only ones that get any media attention.
Right, but I mean, it's just like I was watching you could build a case for state of Washington has become more and more liberal, and they're out there a ways, and they just passed a millionaire's tax.
Yes.
And so the state of the governor is making a speech who you could firmly say is probably one of the most liberal governors in the country, and he has more liberal people protesting him. So it is that fringe that just even makes it more complicated.
It does, and it makes it unnecessarily complicated.
Yeah.
But again, because we have the right to say those things is what makes this country as desirable as it is.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not shut down in terms of what we say until it becomes personally liable.
Yeah.
If you want to really experience what that's like, become an elected official.
Right. Well,
because people can say anything they want about you, and you have no recourse. They can lie, they can defame you, and you have to just take it.
Right.
And wow, does that humble you? Because even at this little level of LeGrand, if it doesn't humble you, then you got some mental problems you got to deal with.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and my son Brady. We have a lot of heated conversations about politics. I mean, and you talked about Fox News or NPR or whatever it is. You do know that you and I are probably the only ones that watch news anymore. I don't know if you watch it evening. I mean, whatever it might be. I mean,
I listen more than I watch.
Right, but 60% of people are the only news that they're getting is from social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and so good or bad, whatever it might be, anyhow. when Brady and I talk, and he complains, whatever it might be, is like, well, get involved in your city.
Yeah.
I mean, run for the water board. I mean,
Yeah.
not too long ago, he was complaining about the price of water and so on and so. Well, like, they're elected positions. You should run for the board. I mean,
Yeah.
because I think that a lot of those people that are just out there and mad, and they're just not informed.
Right.
They don't understand how decisions are made. They don't understand the process.
Boy, does this not come back around to transparency?
Right.
And the availability of
Right.
all the information.
Right.
And you were saying that, the cost of transparency is pretty high.
Yeah.
The accessing that transparency by an individual also comes with a cost.
Yeah.
So when the government needs to make things transparent, that's a cost to the government, but there's a personal cost
Right.
that you need to invest to access that information and make yourself knowledgeable.
Right.
Right? And so, when you talked about that person who didn't trust us, hey, I'm sorry, that information is available and I'll give you all you want.
Right.
But you've got to be willing to think, to believe that what we're giving you is the fact.
Right.
And
Right.
if you don't, well, I can't do anything about that.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of funny. One time I ran into a flat Earth person.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh boy.
Yeah. And super interesting. I was in Canada on a trip, and I had a long lens on my camera, and he said, "Well, how long is that lens?" And then I finally said, "Well, why are you so interested?" Well, because if it were a long enough lens, you could see that the Earth is not round. If it was a long enough lens, you could see that it was flat. And I'm like, "So you're a flat Earth person, And they're like, "Okay, well," and so then I said, because you and I talked about offline, I know an astronaut.
Yeah.
I know a guy that was on the Columbia. I mean, was on the shuttle a couple different
cool.
times. Yeah,
That's really cool.
It really is. Yeah, and I've seen him have conversations with flat earthers on Facebook before. And which again is interesting. So then I said that. I said, I have a friend. I said, so in order for the world to be flat, does that mean that all of the astronauts, all of space engineering, everybody out there are in on the lie that the Earth is not round, it is flat? And he says, yes. It's like, well, where do you go from there?
Yeah,
you can't.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, I mean,
I respect your position, but I will retain my own.
right. But the application is kind of here back to like, yeah, the systems are complex.
Yes.
But if you don't start with some kind of a foundation of like, I know you, I know who you are.
Right.
I know you're not going to lie to me because you don't have. There's no motivation for you to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and people will only lie if there's a motivation.
Right.
If there's something that they need to protect in and of themselves.
Right. And in order to prop up a giant, so let's say that somebody doesn't trust what the city's doing, then I mean, in the city books and the county, I mean, they have an audit process, and I mean every few years.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's every year they.
And those books have to be gone through.
Yep.
And they point out the problems or
Right.
whatever. And so again, for you to not trust the process, you have to think, well, the auditors are in on it too.
Right. And just so in sense of transparency, very quickly, when they do an audit, they don't go through every line item. They do a randomly selected collection. Sampling.
Okay.
Right. So I mean, and it's called forensic analysis and forensic accounting. They don't have the time to go through every line item, so they randomly pick things, and if something comes up or they keep seeing a pattern in the things, then they report it.
Right.
Right. So it's efficient, it's legal, and it's effective. And I can't tell you how many times I sat through audits when they went, oh yeah, you got this, and
And the state of Oregon requires it.
Yeah, and the state of Oregon requirement.
Right.
And they allow it. So,
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's let's switch to the commissioner's race real
Okay.
quick, and then we got to quit.
Okay.
Okay, so currently there's 2 seats open.
2 seats open,
I
yes.
seat 1 and seat 2.
Yes.
Okay, and seat 1 was Paul Anders'
Yes.
seat that he has vacated.
Right,
or
and
he-
that's Mark Simmons and Corey Miller.
Curry Miller, right? Yeah. And then seat 2
Seat 2,
is Matt Scarfo,
Donna Beveridge,
Donna Beveridge,
and Rosa
Rosa Rice.
Rosa Rice.
Okay. And which, I mean, a lot of people don't understand that Donna is running
Yes.
against Matt.
Yes.
I mean, she would not like somebody saying it that way, but
Right.
but you can't run.
Right.
I mean,
We-
I assure you that Mark Simmons is running against
Corey
Corey Miller.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
And when there happened to be 9 of us that
Yes.
were running, but I was running against every one of those people.
So,
Yeah.
will both positions be in the primary?
Yeah, and I think they will both. I mean, it's my opinion that they may both be decided.
They could.
I mean, certainly the Simmons Miller race.
Yeah, that's
One of them is going to get
right.
more than 50%.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm surprised Mark came back.
I am too. And we've extended an invitation for Mark and Corey to come on the morning show.
Right.
And have a short introduction
Right.
and why they're running and stuff.
Well, I don't know either one of them well. I probably know Corey less well.
Yeah.
I got to do a little bit of sleuthing on my own and find out more
Yeah.
about them. The 3-way run is going to be very interesting, and I think you kind of alluded to this earlier. Regardless of its legality, we had an initiative in the county that 68% of the people voted for that said we would like our county commissioners not to serve more than 2 terms.
Correct.
But that initiative was deemed illegal or void, I guess
Yeah.
you would say, because it wasn't constitutionally acceptable.
According to the Oregon Constitution.
Yes, so according to the Oregon
yeah.
Constitution.
And I spent quite a bit of time in this space.
Okay.
But you go ahead.
And so the fact that the 3 county commissioners decided that they should have it reviewed.
Yeah, and let me
And
throw some light on it because I happen to be at that particular
okay,
meeting.
and I just want to put this on the table because I think Matt got a lot of flack, and he's still under, as far as I know, he's still under investigation for ethics violation, for being on the commission that voted in favor of that. When you pointed out that they all voted for it, that sort of erased for me some of the ethical dilemma that I looked at, or I was thinking about for Matt. I'm not excited about either Matt or Donna running, only because of 68% of the people in the county would like to see county commissioners limited terms. Be that as it may, they have the legal right to do it. I'm not in a place to say no. Voting is going to be really hard because I think both Matt and Donna have done exceptionally good jobs
I
as
think so, too.
commissioners. And I think voting is going to be difficult. I think it's interesting because Rosa has a chance with Matt and Donna splitting votes. Because you got to get 34% to win. Or in the primary, would it take the 2 highest vote getters?
Correct.
Okay, so Rosa could be on the general ballot in November.
Well,
Because she could score 34% and the other 2 split the other 66.
and that could happen,
Yes.
I guess. So let me back up just a little bit because I think that people don't fully understand. So, and good or bad, this is what I know happened.
Okay, please.
So yeah, I mean, and it just so happened. I mean, what I talked about after I ran, and unsuccessfully, I I went to a commissioner meeting, and during the public comment, I said, this is the way that you should communicate more effectively. Well, that happened to be the meeting that they were making the recommendation to the city lawyer or to the county lawyer. Yeah. And Paul Anders is the one who actually made the motion.
Okay.
And it was that, and the clerk, the county clerk is the one that's like, hey, we're having an election come up. We know this has been turned over in Douglas County.
Right.
You know, we know, I mean, Matt was public about, hey, if this is overturned, I would like to run again. I mean, and so, I mean, the county clerk felt like, I really would like to avoid all of this confusion and have some kind of a decision decided. Okay. And so then they, you know, I mean, Paul is the one that brought that before the commissioners. They voted to have the, you know, to have that tested, whatever it might be. And, you know, now, and eventually that was overturned.
Right.
It was confirmed to be, I don't know, whatever the thing is.
Yeah, the legal term for it, yeah.
And here's, you know, here's what a lot of people don't understand, is as though the Oregon Constitution doesn't mention the terms of commissioners.
Right.
I mean, it's vague, okay.
Yeah.
But essentially what it does say is like, hey, the Oregon Constitution decides the job description and the length of time they're going to serve for commissioners.
Right.
That is the Constitution.
The term length, not necessarily the number of terms.
Right. Well, but it's even right. But essentially, it is like, if term limits are going to be changed, it's going to be changed in the Oregon Constitution, because it's the Oregon Constitution's businesses that manages that part of commissioners.
Right.
So that was essentially the thing. And so now I think that the county. I think the county did, and I think that in their announcement of that decision, how that turned out, I don't think they did Matt a service. I think they did a disservice because it wasn't widely put out. I don't remember us getting.
Yeah. Well, I'm not.
I don't. I mean, we get public announcements all the time.
Yeah.
And so then. Yeah, and so then since Matt is the one, so even though it was the commissioners that voted to do it and all of that, and, you know, Matt is the one who, now, you know, Matt would say that, well, we all benefited, you know. I mean, and so then, you know, if Jake Sievert, after he serves 2 terms and he wants to run a third, then he is benefited too.
Yeah.
Or if Paul had decided that he wanted to run again, then he was you know, and he's absolutely right.
Right.
You know, it just so happens that he is the one that is the first to exercise this.
This is how much I had, and this is what my opinion was.
Yeah.
So,
right. So, and I guess I don't. I mean, I agree. I mean, I agree that yes. I mean, you could make a case that an honorable person would. You know, honor the will of the people, you know. And certainly Donna has said that in the past. But, you know, when she was on the show and introduced her, I mean, talked about her candidacy, she said, well, you know, it was overturned. And I've had people ask me to run again, and so I've decided to do so. Now, why she's running against Matt's
position,
I have no understanding of that.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a clear understanding of that from her.
I'd like to get her just on the side and find out. I would rather have seen her running for the vacant position.
Well, and I told her, you know, the way I explained it the most is like, as a citizen, I'm grieved that I have to make a choice between you or Matt.
Yeah.
Because you both are amazing. You've done amazing jobs, and you've done really well at serving.
And in my mind, they're the kind of servants.
Right.
Servant elected officials that we need more of.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, let's go back to you. I don't always agree with what Matt and Donna believe, but I won't ever argue the fact that they haven't put their heart and soul into Union County.
Right, but let me ask you this: how how many partisan decisions did you ever see? You know
On
what I mean?
council?
Yeah. Well, at the commissioner level. I mean, you might not have agreed with what happened, but did that have anything to do with your political persuasion?
No.
No, right. It just had to do with.
Well, and that's whether you're at in small communities, whether you're at the community level
Yeah.
or you're at the county level. In rural counties like this, many of those decisions are not partisan.
Right.
They are particular to the community.
Right.
And 99.9% of the stuff that the city council and probably the county, although I don't pay as much attention as I probably should, have nothing at all to do with politics as they have to do with the community and with bookkeeping and making things work more effectively within the jurisdiction they have control over.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I mean, it's a weird little wrinkle that we're in the middle of.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Again, I'll go back to, it's unfortunate that you got to pick between Donna and Matt.
Yeah.
I think in that regard, Rosa's on the outside. I don't know Rosa for anything, but there are enough non-Matt and non-Donna votes out there.
Yeah.
She could scoop 34%.
Yeah, I think that.
On the other hand, Matt could just go like this.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that drives me crazy is that and this goes back to the Trump thing. This goes back to national politics. People they vote a particular way just because they're pissed, just because they're mad.
Yep.
And I, and not too long ago, I had talked to somebody, and it's like, well, let me come on the show. I wanna, he was one of the people that was very unhappy about the thing being overturned and so on and so forth. And I said, well, isn't your course of action to appeal? If you're unhappy, then appeal it, you know. And I guess that's not possible because it is possible, but it's like a $30,000 or $40,000
it's not cheap.
bill. Yeah, and so. But I explained to him that, it's not my job. It's not within our mission to just let you come onto the show because you're angry.
Yeah.
I mean, as a person, you can stand out on the corner. You can do whatever you want, and you express your anger all you want. But I'm not obligated to give you a platform And so the point of that is that there's a lot of people that will vote just because they're angry.
Right. Well, and if you drive around the county,
right,
you will see signs against Matt.
Right.
Right.
Which I think is ridiculous.
Well, it is what it is.
It is,
and it is the right of people to do that.
It is.
And that's why I say the vote's going to split really, really interesting. Because when you get 68% of the people in the county, that means that a lot of conservatives voted in favor of term limits.
Yeah.
And that means
I think I did.
So,
but on the other side of that I didn't know is that you take it was Steve McClure that had been,
he was like
20 years.
Yeah, more than that.
Yeah. But the advantage of is that in the state government, he had worked his way up to being the chairman of like the railroad.
Yeah.
So in other words, what people don't know is that the longer, and I didn't know at the time, the longer a commissioner serves, the more committees they're on, and the greater chances they have of saying, hey, I'd like to send some of that money to Union County.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is that, and I'm gonna back us down one step and say one of the things that I think is most difficult to swallow, understand, being unopinionated about, is that the mayor's position is open to anybody, and I really think that the mayor's position benefits most from people that have experience already on the council. Because they know how the meetings run, they know the department directors, they know the city manager, they know the budget, they have that fundamental understanding of how, but, walking somebody in off the street, never been elected anything at all, walking in and running for mayor,
Right.
you better hope they have some really good leadership skills and some charisma,
Right.
because I can't understand why. That's the only fallback for Rosa,
Yeah.
is that she has no experience as an elected official,
Right.
and honestly, being a county commissioner is a 60 to 70 hour a week job. It's not.
Yeah,
You know.
You know what's funny? Somebody, and again, somebody's very skeptical. They're like, they look at the commissioner job as, look at that salary, $80,000 a year, and look what they're doing. And the truth is that, and I was talking to somebody the other day about this from Baker County, and about their commissioners, and that is like, yeah, a commissioner is the kind of job to where, yes, you can skate by, but the people that really do it with a heart are spending a great deal of time doing it.
And that's why I say, Donna and
Yeah.
Matt, put that time in.
Yeah. Well, and here's what I thought about is that, and a lot of they're angry because they have the gall to take a job that's going to pay $80,000 a year. I mean, they're angry because of that. And here's what I was thinking about the other day. It was like, do you know how many teachers back in the early 2000s retired early to take advantage of PERS 1?
Yeah.
We didn't really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I personally didn't look down on them for taking that opportunity.
No.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't know.
It
cuts both ways.
does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm exhausted, dude.
Well, thank you, man.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun.
It'll be really interesting to see the number of people that throw in
Well,
comments.
I
And
hope
stuff.
so.
Yeah.
And if I could say anything about wrapping this up, if you're in the city of LeGrand and you want to know what's going on, get on that email list for the council agendas.
Yeah.
Corollary to that, I wish the county commission would do it. At least have, what's on the agenda so that people can go. In one page, right? They
Yeah.
don't have to have the whole packet.
Yeah.
One page that says these are the agenda items for the next commissioner meeting.
Right.
And that it shows up in my inbox. It takes me 5 minutes to look at it. I'm more informed. If I want to show up to a meeting, I can do that, or at least I can follow up by watching it online or something.
Yeah.
Get involved. And,
Yeah.
and be civil. and trust people. And talk to your neighbor if they're different.
Yeah. Well, and I think that anybody who moves to LeGrand, I say, like, if you don't like something, run for the school board.
Yeah.
Go to the PTA meetings.
Yeah.
Get involved. I mean, there's a place for you to be involved in.
Exactly.
And if there's a place for your voice to be, and people are desperate. I mean, you're desperate to hear.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Get off of social media. Thank you, Brent.
Yeah. Hey, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Great conversation. So.
Lots.
Yeah.
Very good.
Hey, thank you guys for being here. Appreciate this, and we'll have more of these in the future, and we'll see you soon.